Do I dare ask you to call your next witness?
Looking for some legal advice?
I'd like an answer to the question, Judge.
It's time for
I'm afforded the right to speak in my own defense, sir.
Ask an Attorney.
Order.
Your Honor, I'd like to ask for a recess.
Order.
On the Greg Hill Show.
Order. I cannot sit down.
They do the bad thing.
Right now, as a public service, Larry the lawyer will answer all of your legal questions for free, so you can text them to the text line, which is 37937, or you can call and speak with Larry the lawyer, 617-779-7937. Larry, good morning.
How you doing?
Happy Friday.
Yes, it's the weekend.
Wiggy wants to ask about Deshaun Watson, who signed a contract and was paid millions, is being paid millions and millions of dollars. But apparently,
millions and millions.
millions and millions. And apparently did not get to pick his coach, so therefore is not going to play. I don't know, Wiggy, in which direction do you want to go with this question?
Well, it's not that Larry, it's not that Greg is given to you all wrong. Not that he didn't get to pick his coach. He was told that
Did Greg hurt your feelings, Wiggy?
No. I just want to, I want to get it out right because I don't want to get G-Hilled. But he was told by his ownership or his boss that, hey, listen, you're going to have input into what we do. So when you sign this contract, that's something that's a little side deal, even though it's not on paper.
A verbal contract.
Yeah, word is bond type deal.
Yes.
Word is bond.
Yeah.
By the way, getting input, having input into a situation is very different than having decision-making authority. So let's start with that.
Correct. Yes.
Yeah. So if he's saying that he would have input, if that's what they told him, and he's involved in these conversations, he has the ability to make his statements and his opinion known. That is having input. Now, if they don't listen to him, that's, I'm sorry. You have a contract with this team. The contract says you're a player and you're there to play. And while I understand your point, Wiggy, it may not be nice to tell somebody, hey, we're going to listen to you if you come here, and then they sign their contract that doesn't have those terms in there, and then they don't listen to them. There's no legal obligation to. But again, I don't necessarily know that they didn't take his input here.
That's what I say.
Yeah, no, he said they did. He said
they did.
They give him a seat at the table, and then when he went to go sit at the table, nobody was in the office.
Larry, you ever encountered anybody who lies or is disingenuous? Ever?
Oh, not in this day and age anymore, Greg. People never do that anymore.
I'm innocent.
978 text for you. 978 text for you. I have been trying for over a year to get $1,800 back from a ticket agency in Chicago that I bought concert tickets from. The event was canceled. I've been unsuccessful. What is my recourse?
So definitely you have a case if the concert was canceled and you're entitled to your money back. If they're from Chicago, you have two choices. You can sue them in Chicago, or if they have minimum contacts in Massachusetts, you could probably sue them here too. Because the matter is under $7,500, you have the right to file it in the district court in small claims. So that would be my advice. Contact one of your clerks and talk about small claims.
Let's see. 617 text. What if one of my on-the-books employees had broken a very expensive chandelier while installing it? Is he responsible for that, or am I responsible as the business owner?
As opposed to one of the people that you have that you pay under the table, right?
I guess that's what he's saying.
So here's your first legal advice. Don't go on the radio and let the world know that you have people that you are not paying taxes for. That is illegal.
Yes.
And as far as your employee, if your employee was negligence on the job, the chances are the employer is going to be responsible for that. If he has a contract with his employees or they're independent contractors, there may be some rights against them. But if it's a mistake, it's a mistake.
You have some news today for those who have gotten an OUI in the state, correct?
Yeah, so very interesting, Greg. 27,000 people in the Commonwealth of Massachusetts are going to be getting letters from various district attorneys throughout the Commonwealth. Evidently, between the years 2011 and 2018, people that were convicted of drunk driving or that took a plea deal, which is very interesting. It's found out that the breath test calibrations and certifications were not correct. So because a lot of these convictions had breathalyzers that weren't calibrated properly, we don't know what the actual breath test is. So, you're going to see a lot of people getting letters, and, my advice is make sure that you contact somebody and have them review your case. As people know, these things, drug driving convictions or continuous without findings, they have ramifications that affect immigration status. They affect your license to carry status. So this is a unique time to take a look at your case if you did plead or you did have a trial and you were convicted, because you may have actually been innocent.
Officer, when was the last time this is calibrated? Well, I want you to tell me the date. I want to see the paperwork.
Larry, 9-7.
Remember, Danielle, the entire process is on video, so there is that. But here's the other interesting thing, Greg. We're talking about 10 years old. I mean, a lot of these cases. Good luck finding the witnesses. Good luck finding the police officers. People retire, and good luck finding the files in some of these too. So this is an interesting scenario for a lot of people.
It's really weird. Mutt just tweeted one word, calibrate, and he spelled it correctly.
Vindicated.
Wow.
No,
He's
been vindicated.
Oh, sorry.
He's redeemed himself.
Larry, 978 text. Can a divorce agreement change? We were married over 20 years, and I'm paying alimony, but my ability to make money has changed due to the pandemic.
Yeah, so this is something that's been quite frequent over here lately. First and foremost, a separation agreement can change anytime there's a change in circumstances, and you can change your separation agreement. Two ways. The first is by going back to court and filing a complaint for modification and having a judge change it, and the second is typically by agreement. A lot of separation agreements put right in there that if the parties agree to make a change, they can do that. But that is the more rare of the situations, but they can be changed.
And do you recommend that people contact an attorney about that, or what's the way to do that?
Yeah, I mean, look, again, anytime you're going into court, most lawyers will give you, 15 to 30 minute free consultation. A lot of them do, especially in that world. So at least get some information. There's a lot of resources out there, but you're not going to go to the doctors and have him tell you, hey, I need to do some brain surgery, and you don't go home and do that yourself. It's really the same thing with the court. People think that it's easy because it's a conversation, and people, hey, I was right, he was wrong. In their mind, they might be. But a lot of times that doesn't matter because there's rules that go into this, and there's a procedure that goes into this that a lot of times you need an expert to help you navigate.
Here's a 781 question for Larry. The lawyer, my hairdresser, has started to add a $25 COVID fee. Is that legal?
Sure. You don't have to pay it. You can get a new hairstylist.
Right. A lot of them are. It's PPE stuff. They got to pay for a lot of crap to be able to do your hair. I love this.
Yeah. How about that? Let's take advantage.
Are a lot of businesses adding a COVID fee?
Yes.
Oh, you got to wear when you go in. When I go into the barber, it's always a new kind of cape that they put on you to keep the hair from falling on you. So, I mean, that must cost them money.
I love that these people bitch and complain that they can't get their hair done for a year, and then when they finally go back to their stylists who are putting out all this money to get stuff done, they're like, I'm not paying that. All right, then do it at home. You can do it at home. Don't pay it.
Because that worked out so well during the first 6 months of the COVID crisis.
Exactly. I don't want to pay you for all of your years of experience in doing this job, so can you give me a discount? Yeah, okay.
I'm getting a Flowbee.
Let's see. This is Glenn. You want to, Ken, you want to get Glenn, if you could, please? Or I guess, can I do it without losing Larry? Hello, Glenn.
Yeah, hello.
Hey, you're on with Larry.
Great. Hi, Larry. Business partner and I, great. We submitted a patent application. It was awarded last May, but I'm no longer with the company. And the patent was actually listed in the company's name, but both of us are listed as patent holders. So if I'm not with the company anymore, what are my rights? Do I have to sign off if they license it?
Yeah, that's a much more complicated question than is going to get answered on the radio here, because that requires some analysis. If you want to give us an email or a ring, I could certainly put you in touch with somebody. Patent attorneys are members of the patent bar. It's a special section of the Bar Association, so you have to actually be admitted to practice patent law. So it's as you probably know, getting a patent, it's a pretty specialized area. So happy to help you with that, but you do have some rights on that. And if you have a patent and it's your patent and your name is on it, then you have rights to that patent.
Glenn,
now,
does-
again, just one more point, Greg.
Yeah.
If somebody is working for a company and they're paying them to develop products, and they develop a product and that patent goes out in the company's name and it's developed during company time, even though even though you've created that patent, you probably don't own that patent.
Glenn,
The same thing as.
is your patent something that has to do with food, and Wiggy and I would be interested in it?
No, but you could sit in it and eat food.
Oh. What did you patent? Some kind of a new chair or something like that?
Yeah, something like that.
Oh,
yeah,
wow.
Something like that.
A bidet.
I need to hear more.
Better take it to Shark Tank.
It's got a little microwave in the right hand handle.
Let's see. Here's a text, Larry. My wedding venue in upstate New York is charging a $5,000 COVID fee. I'm guessing it's the same answer regardless of how much the money is, correct?
100%.
Okay.
And again, look, you have the right to change, or you have the right to say no, or more importantly, you have the right to negotiate. I mean, these days, just about everything is a negotiation.
Let's see. My employer made me sign a non-compete yesterday. If I get fired today, is it enforceable?
Most likely. I mean, I'd have to read it, but if you're really worried about that, maybe you shouldn't have signed it, or you should have talked to a lawyer before you signed it.
Larry,
I mean, look, that's something that people just don't get, Danielle. You should hire a lawyer before you sign a legal document, an employment contract, a covenant not to compete, any of those things. Those have serious repercussions, and they could be held up. So, yeah.
Generally, Larry, how enforceable are non-competes in Massachusetts? Because I know there's been a long debate about that here.
So that's changed recently. You know, if they're reasonable in geographic scope and time, and then they can be held up. And the courts try to hold those up because they're freely negotiated. Now, that has to be balanced, though, against somebody's ability to earn an income and wages. So you can't say, hey, you're a salesperson for me selling gum. It's not proprietary gum. It's just bubble gum. And if you leave me, you can't sell bubble gum anywhere else in the world for 2 years. And the only thing that person knows how to do is sell bubble gum. That's probably not going to be held up. You know, so it's one of those things where you have to look at all sides and try to, the scales of justice. You have to weigh it so that the right decision comes out. And that comes down to the document itself.
978 text, what is currently the best way to beat a speeding ticket?
Hire Larry Army Jr.
What is, I mean, is it...
Am I allowed to say that, Greg? Is that a selfless promotion, or is that just being honest?
Your segment, bud.
But other than that, I mean, is it can you use like a family emergency, or, like, can you use the same excuse that the governor used to go to Florida? I mean, like, how does it...
It's really a lot of things. I will tell you that, history has shown me that if you are polite to police officers, if you try to make their job easier, and when I say easier, we have a video on Army and Roche website that talks about this exact thing. If it's nighttime, turn your interior lights on, roll your window down, have your license and registration ready, be polite, look at the police officer. All these things make the police officer safer too. Because, imagine being somebody and walking up to a car these days and not knowing if you're going to get shot either way. So be nice, be honest, and usually things will work themselves out for you. Now, if you're going 110 miles an hour in a 30, good luck. You're not getting out of that ticket, even with Army and Roche.
Hey, Larry, is it illegal for former football players to sell licensed apparel with their autographs on it? And if they do so, do they have to report the income on their taxes?
Wait a second. Is Wiggy selling licensed apparel?
Could be Christian Foray. He works here, too. Former football players.
Is it under $600?
Wiggy, let's go sell it all.
That's it. Keep it under 10 grand.
I'm with you. I stand with Wiggy.
There you go.
What is Wiggy selling?
What isn't he selling?
Oh, let's sell whatever. Keep it under 10 grand and you don't have to get taxed for it.
Larry, this isn't a
Maybe
question.
we should put a little lock of your hair in a little locket, Wiggy. We could do hair lockets. And
Right.
I don't know if your wife would like that, but we'll figure it out.
Brady's car just went for $1.2 million. So
My last contract negotiation that existed, that there was a non-compete, and the people that I was negotiating with said, well, Massachusetts doesn't enforce it, so you don't have anything to worry about. And I said, well, then why don't we
then why is it
remove
there?
it? Right.
Why is it there?
Then they enforce
Why
it.
isn't it there?
Let's see. This is Ben. Hey, Ben, what's going on?
Hey, what's up? I just got a question.
Yes.
So I was wondering if if I was recently vaccinated, can my employer force me to give them proof of the vaccination? And if I don't give it to them, can I be reprimanded for it?
Good question.
Yeah, so it is a good question, and employers can have you get vaccinated. They can mandate that, and they can terminate you if you don't. The interesting thing that hasn't really been litigated yet, as best as I can see, is that everybody has a HIPAA right, right to privacy to your medical documents, your medical records, your medical conditions.
Okay.
Yeah. And that has to be weighed against the public health, and again, everything is a litmus test, a balancing act here, but you have the right to privacy, but an employer does have the right to keep his other staff and the general public free and healthy. So, most likely they have the right. They definitely have the right to do that to you. But
does that answer your question?
More specifically, it wasn't mandatory that we get the vaccine. It was an option to get the vaccine, and then now they're not wording it as we have to give it to them, but they kind of are wording it like, to where it could be interpreted as I could tell they want the proof that we got the vaccine for certain reasons, maybe to cut back on overtime.
Let me ask you. I mean, you got the vaccine, right?
Yes.
I don't know if you did.
Why don't you just tell them you got the vaccine? I mean,
yeah. Why not just show them?
How about that? Say, hey guys, I got the vaccine. Here's my vaccine passport.
Well, it's not.
I'm just curious. I'm just curious. Like,
well, because it's more like because I think it could be used against us in a sense, as far as or not in our best interest, but in their best interest. And since the vaccine, it wasn't mandatory that we got it. I just didn't know if it was a HIPAA violation as far as can he make us give us. Or can he make us give them the proof of the vaccination, or can we, or do we not have to give them that proof?
I guess they can, right, Larry? You're saying they can.
Yeah, they can make you get it, but I don't know if they can make you produce the documents that show you got it. But again, you're probably better off having the vaccine in the scenario that you're talking about than not having it. I don't know. I understand people don't want to give their medical records out, but
he wants his day off, and how's he going to say I got COVID? To get a week off from work. He's already had the vaccine.
What is it? Isn't it 2 weeks off now?
Yeah. It's hey, wait a second.
Took the summer off.
How do you want 2 weeks off? Didn't you just get vaccinated?
Didn't work. 98% effective, like that birth control pill.
Some employers are apparently giving their employees monetary incentive to go and get the vaccine, which I guess. So they're basically being paid to go get the vaccine, which is interesting.
That is not the process over here at Army and Roche. You have the right to decide if you want your own vaccine over here. We give each of our employees that right.
Here's a 413 text. What rights do I have if I caught COVID at my workplace?
Good luck proving that, so exactly. I'm going to say none.
Oh, okay. Say none on that?
We're just going to go right to none on that one, Greg. How do you prove where you got this stuff? It's almost impossible.
All right, final question before you go. If I buy a car in a private sale and the seller lies about a number of things about the vehicle, do I have any recourse?
Yeah, used car lemon law. And you can Google that. It'll tell you everything you need to know there. But based on the amount of miles that a vehicle has, based on the year and the price, those things factor what your actual warranty is in those things. But you also have a situation that if somebody is making a representation and they know that it's false, you also have fraud as well. So there's a couple areas that you can go there for that used car remedy.
Sounds like Deshaun Watson has a case.
I never said that, Wiggy.
It looks like his owner was a little
I love you, buddy, but in this particular instance, I think the Hillman is the right one.
It looks like his owner was a little fraudulent when he was selling him this car.
Maybe so.
Larry's definition of fraudulent and yours are quite different, I believe. Larry's is the legal one, but all right, Larry, thank you. Great to talk to you.
Always a pleasure. Everybody enjoy the weekend, and Greg, anybody has any questions, armyandroach.com.
All right, sounds great. That's Larry the Lawyer. Ask an Attorney. We'll be right back.